I thought there were 13 episodes. Before we get to today's video, I want to take a moment to talk about Patreon. That's right, we are on Patreon now, and we have a bunch of tiers with a bunch of great rewards. You can subscribe and get things like early access to all reactions, depending on your tier, depends on which reactions you get early access to. You can vote on polls exclusive to patrons that will help determine future reaction series and more. You will get to just have various choices in terms of like getting to choose future reactions I react to, getting to choose first impressions I check out, all kinds of different rewards, and possibly more coming in the future. We're still new at this. We're still figuring things out. It's a process. It's a process. But we have multiple tiers, so whatever you would be able to donate, if you're able and willing to donate, is appreciated. It helps me out, it helps the channel out, it helps us grow. It's going to help just, standardly. It's just something new to check out. Plus, if you like getting the reactions early, that's also a plus. But it is optional. If you're unable to do it, that's completely fine. All reactions will come to YouTube just a little bit later, a week later or so. So, that all being said, thank you as always so much, and let's get on with today's video. And with that being said, hey everyone, welcome to Princess Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with my blind reaction to episodes 11 and 12 of Sanda. And like I said in the cold open there, I thought there were 13 episodes of this. I thought this series was going to be like 13 for this season, at least. And I thought I had another week before I had to even worry about, oh, am I going to do the final 2 episodes of the season together? I must have misread at some point. And yeah, it's only 12. The season's actually been done. I've been behind, of course, but the season's been done. And now we're caught up. So I decided we will do these 2 together and kind of go from there. So let's actually discuss this. Let's actually talk about this. This season is clearly ending on this arc with Fumi. And I still say that we're working towards, redeeming might be the wrong word, but saving her. Getting her to, maybe at least calm the fuck down. If nothing else. But we're definitely working towards helping her. And I think we'll probably get setups for whatever the next arc ends up being. But for now, we're working towards, having to deal with this. And we left off, we were at the festival and everything. Sanda's fighting Fumi fighting the rest of the classmates by hugging them into submission. And Fumi's currently got him kind of pinned down by shooting at him. So it's a matter now of him, powering through this to try and get to her. I guess we're going to have to see. And Fuyamura's on her way too, because she managed to break away from Ono. Mind you, she told Ono what was happening. Ono kind of, figured it out anyway, so. This arc is doing a couple things. On top of, the stuff with Fumi and, showcasing that this kind of society and situation with just how children are treated. We're seeing how it fucks these kids up in like these horrific ways. But this arc is also delving into Ono's fears a lot. Since Ono has now returned, it's a massive point of this arc to delve into her fears and concerns about growing up, about like hitting puberty and worrying that she's becoming an adult, even though that's not really how it works, but that's how the society has raised these kids into thinking it works. And so we're seeing her insecurities about this, and especially about Fuyamura's feelings toward her. Because while she has like intense, like romantic feelings for Fuyamura, it's made pretty clear that Fuyamura is not really prepared to even figure that out yet. She was so focused on just getting Ono back, she hasn't really come to terms with any feelings yet, and is more focused on, you know, just the friendship that she's always had with her. And again, it's not saying that Fuyamura doesn't have feelings for Ono. In fact, I think it's pretty fucking clear that she does. I just don't think she realizes it. I think it's one of those cases where Fuyamura is, you know, a kid. And she still feels like a kid and still acts like a kid in a lot of ways and believes herself to be a kid, and she's not thinking about that. She's not even wanting to think about that. Fuyamura almost feels like the kind of character who represents what, like, these children's childhood should be. Maybe not with all the, you know, explosions and shit, but that's a different issue. But she sees herself as a child and wants to live as a child. She doesn't want to grow up. She wants to revel in this kind of, you know, like childlike wonder for as long as she can. And for her, the biggest part of that is her friendship with Ono, because they've been friends for so long. And so she wanted Ono back so badly because she felt like without her, she'd have to grow up. And so, ironically, the fact that Ono is the one who has been growing up, even if it's kind of against her will, it's forcing like these uncomfortable feelings on to Fuyamura. So it's a really interesting like lead in for these characters to eventually like really start to delve into their feelings for each other. And sometimes that's how you do a good romance. It doesn't have to be like this love at first sight bullshit. Sometimes slow burn stuff that's, you know, based on characters learning to understand and grow with each other is the best kind of romance possible. So, I have faith in this. I have faith in this. Now, we also see Principal Oshibu every now and again in this arc. He's not as prevalent as he was in the last arc. But he's still there. He's still being creepy. And most of it is him, like, kind of mentoring, Fumi into doing what she has to do at this festival. But, excuse me. We see that she's so fucked up, that she's so emotionally broken and dead inside, that, like, she's not even, like, necessarily on his side. She's not doing this for him. She's doing this because she's crazy. And she's crazy because of her traumatic backstory. She went through heavy trauma because of her mom. And it fucked her up so heavily. And that's not something you could just come back from super easily. But my hope, my hope for how this ends up going is that Sanda, Fuyamura, all of them are able to get through to her. And that once they do, she's not going to like change right away. But she will be less antagonistic. Kind of like what's his face? The smoker guy. I can't think of his name right now. But kind of like him, how he became less of an antagonist and more of a reluctant ally to our group. He's kind of been helping in a lot of ways, and is basically just an ally at this point. He's not even an antagonist pretty much at all. And so I'm thinking she could kind of become like that, where it's not like she's like all buddy with them, but is on good enough terms to where like she's not constantly trying to kill them or anything, but maybe occasionally might like go for a sneak attack or something. Because again, I don't think she should like change completely all at once. I feel like that would be just unbelievable. But we'll see. We'll see. I think we should get right into this. I think we should check this out and see what we have in store. And as a reminder, we do have a Patreon now. It started at the beginning of the year. I'm continuing to remind you all over and over because it's new and I'm trying to, keep the ball rolling on that. There are multiple tiers, which gives you early access to different reactions depending on your tier. For example, the $5 tier gets you early access to movie reactions. The $10 tier is movies and shows, and so on and so forth, with each tier getting different types of reactions and new types of reactions and other rewards as well, such as getting to vote on exclusive polls in the future and getting to choose things for me to react to in the future. So you can get a full breakdown at the Patreon page, which is linked in the description below. And if you have any other questions or anything further, you can also ask me in the comments of any video or on any of the socials or whatnot. I'm always paying attention to that stuff. So, yeah. If you are just hoping for a little bit extra, you'll get that over there. So, all of that being said, let's get into this and see what this episode has in store, or these episodes have in store for us. Hold up just a sec. Before you click that link down in the description below to get to today's video, I want to remind you of all the awesome content we have both on this channel and the Princess of Gaming channel. Let's check it out. Welcome to the Afterthoughts. We'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So I wanted to look up to see how much was in this manga to see if there could be like another season. And from everything I've gathered, there's 16 volumes of the manga. A little bit of an odd amount. But it is complete. It's not like ongoing. It is done. which I actually appreciate, because it's like so many of these series like push themselves to go on way too long and just like end up losing their focus because of it. So I'm kind of glad that this series is like a very restrained, like specifically set forward series. It has an ending. And I'm very curious to see like kind of what they do with that. Now, to talk about obviously the big elephant in the room in regards to this ending. I don't think Ono is dead. I think that she's faking her death. And that the old woman, I can't remember exactly what her position was in the school. I think she's helping with it. I think Ono like had somehow reached out to her beforehand and had planned this all out. I think that Ono is somehow faking her death because she doesn't want to be around Fuyamura right now due to, the entire feeling like an adult thing and going through puberty. And they're using this entire idea of like, oh, she went through puberty way too early and it's been affecting her body, which it definitely has been. We know that's true. But she's using that to fake her death. And she doesn't want to be there. She doesn't want to be around Fuyamura like this. She's trying to spare her, and at some point we'll find out that she's still alive and she'll come back. That's my thoughts. Obviously, if you know anything about the manga, no spoilers. Do not spoil me on anything, please. But I will say, if she is dead, if this is real and not some kind of fake out, I don't know how I feel about that. Because I understand the point of it could be like connected to, how fucked up this society is and just how destructive and terrible all of this is. I get that. It would definitely hammer in the point that this society is fucked beyond reason and that it's something we need to like intrinsically change. Kind of going in with themes of this series of, just the adults in the world fucking over the world for the children of the next generation. Which obviously in like real life is a factor that is, handled a little bit differently, but it is still something that's going on. Adults in our real life world are absolutely fucking over the world for the future generations. And so it's just in different ways than in this series. And so I'm very curious to see like where this goes. Again, this wouldn't be the first time a show has actually like killed off a character who I thought was going to live because of the fact that trope-wise in a lot of media, fake-out deaths are unfortunately super common. There was something else I reacted to semi-recently too where I just wasn't believing it. I can't remember what it was. I was reacting to something else, and someone like died, and I'm like, oh no, they're not dead. I can't remember what it was. But yeah, if she is dead, like if this is for real, I don't know, because it feels like, even with all the theming and stuff, it feels almost like a slap in the face. Because it would mean that everything in this first season was kind of for nothing. Which, again, could work for the theming of the series, easily. But, that just doesn't feel good. I understand that it's like, my denial of this is based kind of solely in, it doesn't feel right. It feels wrong to kill her off here. It's based on like emotion and feelings and desires than anything else, but I just don't see it. I don't feel like it makes a lot of sense to me. And I'm curious if I could find out like real quick just by looking through like maybe my playlists on YouTube to see what it was. But yeah, it's like I just feel like it would make this all feel pointless. And then like even if like Fuyamura, now that she's been able to properly mourn and everything, is able to open up again to Sanda and like things continue in that way in terms of their growth and relationship and friendship and all, it's like it still feels like Fuyamura will have lost a massive part of herself that can never just be gotten back because that was like obviously she was so important to her. Fuyamura admitted right there like that she does love her back. And so yeah, it's one of those things where it's just I kind of just don't believe it. It doesn't feel right. I'm looking through my playlist here and I'm not like putting together what it would be. It's not clicking with me. I'm looking through everything. I don't know. I don't think it was To Be Hero X. I don't think it was anything to do with that. I don't think it was Fiona and Cake. I don't think there was anything like that in there. I mean, there were some like teases at deaths in that, but I don't think there was like me like questioning, oh, I don't think this character actually died. I can't think of it. I don't know. Either way, I am I'm definitely hoping to see more of this in the future. I'm definitely hoping we get a season 2. There's obviously so much more that can be done with this kind of series and this concept. But yeah. And I should probably talk about other stuff that happened in this episode too. The fight with Oshibu, like the final fight of the season and everything, was fine, and Sanda learned a new power. But it really felt like it was tacked on, if I'm being honest. It really didn't feel like it was necessary or a big, like, important part of this. Like, I really feel like the fight with Fumi should have been, like, more of the focal, like, final battle of this season. The fight with Oshibu felt completely needless and, again, tacked on. It felt, like, unnatural. And speaking of Fumi, it does seem like she might be, like, going down the route I was saying. Not, like, fully redeemed necessarily, but in the line of she's been able to process her emotions a little more now. And with, you know, Sanda saving her from the fire and everything, I think she's calmed the fuck down at least. And is able to just be less homicidal for now. I think that she'll be okay, and I think that she will be kind of a reluctant ally to Sanda going forward. Because she said it's like, oh, you can come down and visit us in the basement anytime. I think she'll be like a reluctant ally. I think they'll end up working together. But we'll see. We'll see. But like really going into her trauma and really delving into her emotional state in the first of these 2 episodes was like exactly what needed to be done here. It was the right move, and I think that this storyline, for now at least with her, ended right. And other than that, it's like everything else just kind of returned to the status quo. Like nothing else was like really changed that much. Again, outside of what I've already talked about. And I guess we'll just have to see what happens next. But for the meantime, we need another show to replace this. And I've been really thinking about this because there's like multiple different routes, obviously, I could go in. And there's been multiple shows I've been thinking about what would replace this, and especially with the timing of everything, considering like everything we're currently going through and everything that's going to be coming out in the near future. And so I thought that right now, the best choice would probably be to just get to something that I want to get to. Just something that has been like in my head for a bit now. Something that it hasn't been a long time since I checked this out, but is something that's been so like ingrained in my head ever since I did, that I need to see more. I need to know more. And it's one of those occasions where the first impression left a massive impression on me. It really left a huge impression on me and has made me like been almost constantly thinking about it since I reacted to it. So I think we need to go back and visit Charlie again, because we are going to be continuing the Darwin incident. I'll talk more about it when we get to that next week, but like I said, it's one of those things that has just so aggressively stuck with me since I first reacted to the first impression. And I need to know more about where this is going. I need to see more. I need to, like, just see how Charlie goes through all of this and what happens next with this animal liberation army. There's just so many questions, and I'm very curious. So we're gonna go into that, starting right away next week with episode 2. And we'll just kind of go from there. Now, I will mention real quick that there are 2 shows coming up in not August. Why did I say August? In March, that are going to be priority shows. Meaning that if I need to put something else on hold, not drop it, just put it on hold for a time being to make room for those, I will. And that's the new part of JoJo. Steel Ball Run, that comes out in March, but also the live action One Piece season 2 comes out in March. There's also some stuff coming out in April, but we'll worry about that then. But I'm letting you know ahead of time, if I do need to put something on hold, that's gonna be why. But yeah, I liked this ending, but I also am like, I'm not believing in part of it again. We'll see how it goes, but again, no spoilers. Do not tell me what happens in the manga. Do not like try to clarify anything for me if it like is revealed or talked about later on. I want to remain spoiler free for when and if a season 2 happens. So thank you all so much for tuning in. I hope that you enjoyed these reactions to Sanda. I very much enjoyed the series as a whole. And for now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.